10 hut! At ease. Today you begin Advanced Infantry Training. All of you here have wondered at the recent name changes from Warrior Training to Basic Training and Advanced Dueling to AIT. Now that you have passed Basic, you have the foundation to properly appreciate what follows. Looking around, you will note that none of your former colleagues of the traditional Screaming Charge School are here. While Shock and Awe still have their place, the recent appearance of humans on the galaxy's battlegrounds have led your leadership to re-evaluate and adapt your training to compensate. All of your instructors are survivors of combat with humans in high-intensity combat. With the humans' openness with their culture and history to the galaxy, all of the training aids you will experience are adapted from their methods and their own training. All media you will be introduced to have been carefully vetted. Be assured that no matter how fantastic what you are about to see appears, it has not been altered nor fabricated. The more observant among you will have noted that I said survivors of combat with humans, and not survivors of combat against humans. While we have fought both with and against humans in the recent past, and humans have on occasion been defeated, there is no doubt that they have permanently changed how the galaxy fights, and are the elite on nearly every battlefield they can reach. I am not talking about FTL and exo-atmospheric combat. Those have their place and make entertaining vids. When it comes down to the final evaluation, only infantry take and occupy territory, which is the reason for the fighting in the first place. Most, though not all, of the following course will deal with how humans fight and how to compensate for and adapt to their methods. You will be trained on how to use those methods against other species, in addition to the selection of our training methods you learned in Basic. What you will not be trained on is how to fight against humans. We have had more experience with humans than nearly anyone else in the galaxy. After much argument and debate, and no little tribal combat, your leadership has adopted the following general rule for fighting humans. Don't. The following vid will present a summary of the infamous Earth and its lifeforms that formed and shaped humanity. We've learned the hard way that only combat veterans, or those who have been given similar mental fortitude by surviving Basic, can properly assimilate the unvarnished facts presented here. We will periodically pause the vid to allow you time to properly appreciate what you will be seeing, and prepare for the next portion. First off, most of human evolution took place on the Earth continent of Africa. Notable life forms that occupied Africa and preyed on, and were preyed upon, by humans include ostriches, lions, cheetahs, and other large cats, rhinos, hippos, elephants, Cape buffaloes, crocodiles, packs of wild dogs and other canines, antelopes, zebras. Note that humans have not just survived those and similar threats, but came to hunt and even dominate them to the point of driving many to extinction. Take careful note. Humans destroyed many species on their own death world long before they joined the galaxy. They instinctively respond to large-scale threats to their species, and especially to their young, with overwhelming force. That force has a strong tendency to continue until the threat and even the entire species that presents that threat is gone. Humanity has abundantly deserved its growing reputation, but that popular reputation overlooks some things that you need to know and take to heart. Humans are weak compared to their nearest evolutionary relatives, the great apes. This caused them to join into larger bands and learn to cooperate at high levels. Both external and internal pressures encourage the famous human flexibility and tool use. While humans prefer to cooperate, especially in combat, even lone humans are a severe threat. Adrenaline is not just real, but a naturally evolved part of humanity. Every human can and does routinely generate and use it. A human, and indeed any Earth mammal, is extremely dangerous when cornered. When forced to the simple, immediate binary choice of fight or die, all inhibitions are dropped, and the creature enters the famous rage state. Nothing in the galaxy is as dangerous as an Earth mammal in the rage state. Part of your training to work with humans will be how to recognize the conditions that will lead to the rage state, what its few limits are, and what to do when it happens. For now, if you see something, whether human or other, in a rage state, just get out of the way as soon as possible. You are unlikely to survive anything else you try to do. Tales of human endurance are, if anything, understated. The unique human sporting event called the Marathon introduced the galaxy to the scale of human endurance. Popular culture presented the human fictional horror concept of the Terminator, without realizing that to the galaxy humans themselves are far worse. Endurance hunting is real, if rarely used due to the time and energy demands it requires. Underappreciated is the human ability to sweat. This allows humans to not just survive, but to be heavily active in extreme heat for extreme lengths of time. This also introduces a severe human weakness, the need for steady and large amounts of fresh water to sustain life. While some Earth species can go as long as months without food, and humans can survive weeks without it if forced, humans cannot last more than a few days, or in some conditions hours, without large amounts of water. This near constant need for water is part of why human logistics are so efficient. Human binocular vision evolved in their tree-dwelling ancestors. The ability to accurately and quickly adjust distances and relative angles and speeds gives humans a general spatial awareness only exceeded by flying species. You may wonder why this relative advantage does not cause naturally flying species to dominate humans in ground combat. The answer is a single word: skeet. This introduces another human strength: natural ranged combat. Human physiology enables them to throw heavy objects at high speeds, with surprising range and accuracy. No human in a ground combat environment is ever to be considered unarmed. Any object a human can lift can be thrown, and thrown accurately, so anything is a weapon waiting for them to use. Despite the term fantasy baseball, the sport of baseball itself is real. Vids of baseball games, outside a handful of fantasy vids that exaggerate for effect, are real, and show real human athletes competing. The fact that most species are unable to even see objects moving as fast as a human-tossed baseball is why the sport has little following outside humans and some naturally flying species. So if you are fighting alongside humans, and your enemy decides to flee, let them. While fighting in close combat with a human is rarely survivable, there is nothing more futile in the galaxy than trying to flee from a human. They are among the galaxy's premier ranged combatants. They have unequal travel range and endurance to pursue with. Those who flee will not even get far enough to worry about endurance being an issue, as their arboreal heritage has gifted humans with an ability that has to be seen to be believed. All of you, please take the anti-nausea bags we are handing out before we play the following clip of what is a mild example of the human sport of parkour. So, if you are ever in the position of facing an angry human, remember, never try to run from a human. Dismissed.